how about JJ coming out there? Did you guys hear his comments about, uh, all we know as of now is beating Ohio State, and and that's what we're going to focus on going forward. I'll just start off and say, guys, I did not mind it. I didn't find it arrogant. I found it more like my thought process from that comment was more like, hey, we're not thinking about the past, too much of the past. We're thinking more about this fresh start. And as of now, our recent memory is us beating Ohio State, and we plan to keep that going forward. And I kind of dug it. I didn't find it arrogant. I found it more positive, and and I don't mind a guy who I do view as the present and future of this program talking in that way. I kind of dug it. Wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it.
Mark, what do you think?
Well, I didn't have any issue with it. I do think that there is room for, especially college athletes, to kind of take up for their school, take up for what's happened in the past, and say, if you're taking over a program that's been down, let's say, and trying to do some things to reclaim the past, but also, JJ McCarthy, other players on Michigan's roster that weren't there prior to 2019, 2020. Yeah, they didn't lose any football games to Ohio State. They shouldn't have to apologize for it or try to take on some kind of blame for 15 losses in 17 years or anything like
We're
that.
not worried about that. We're not worried about that. We're thinking about recent.
The thing is as soon as he includes the word "we," like, how many people is he talking? If he wants to cut it straight, then he can't speak for everybody in the locker room and say, we don't know what it's like to lose to Ohio State. You don't know what it's like to lose to Ohio State. Some of your other freshman guys around there, sure, you can take up for them, but that's not true.
Can you imagine if the question at press conference, JJ, going into next year's game, JJ, I mean, obviously, you love being here and you're familiar with the seriousness of this rivalry. Now that Michigan's 1-14, we're not worried about the past. Yeah, yeah, I understand, but yeah, not now that Michigan, going to this rivalry, that you guys are, 1-15 in the last 16. Yeah, we're not worried about that. We're 1-0. Can you imagine?
we're
I would
we're
love
on
you
we're
just
on to Cincinnati. We're
we're
on to
one
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
We're
We're
on
not
to
worried about that.
Cincinnati. Yeah,
We're
I,
1-0.
I to me, the literally one thing I typed was all bets are off in a rivalry. So to me, I'm fine with it. I don't, and I say that within reason, like but yeah, this is well within bounds. A little jab at your rival, I don't think is. I mean, it's fine. I like it. I think to me, this year might be a bigger buildup in the Michigan Ohio State game just because now we have the recency of Michigan winning the obviously the most recent game in the midst of Ohio State having a pretty big streak. So I think the buildup to the game is going to be awesome. I think it'll be incredible, and I think there will be. I think this is probably the very very tip of the iceberg. Like we're going to see so much more trash talk between Michigan, Ohio State coaches and players. So I'm excited for it, and I give him a little kudos for going out and saying that because he definitely could have played it coy and done the well, we had success with him, against him last year, and this year's a new season, and we got to prepare, and he could have easily done that, and I don't know. I mean, I'm good with it. I think if I was JJ's spokesperson, which I'm not, I probably would have aired on, hey, just go with the canned answer that we wrote down for you. Don't don't jump in there. Don't jump in the pool. They're inviting you, but don't jump in. But no, I'm fine with it. It's cool. It's fun. It's headlines. I mean, because at this point of the season, we're not hearing much of anything coming out of spring camp, spring ball. So it gives us something to talk about, and I think it's fun. I think this is what makes college football fun and exciting. And unlike the NFL, these are the big rivalries. To me, I don't really think there are really rivalries in the NFL outside of maybe a couple, but it's fun. I like it, and I thought I thought his comments were pretty fun, pretty cool, and I'm sure Michigan fans loved it. So
I've told you guys that Ohio State fans are paranoid with Michigan, and not only Ohio State fans, Ohio State itself, the actual, I'm not going to speak for the players, but the school, the administration, the program is paranoid with Michigan, which again fascinates me because if we take this back 2 or 3 months, they had won a zillion in a row. And, you're typically not paranoid with someone that you dominate. It just doesn't make any sense, but they are, and they continue to be to the point those comments. But Ohio State posted these comments in their team facility.
I did see that.
And the quote that's posted is, "That's all we know is beating Ohio State right now. ... So we're going to keep that going."
Well, but here's the thing that I look at, and when I said if I was his spokesperson, I would say go with the canned answer, because I vividly remember Justin Fields, and I can't remember what happened in that time frame, but there was something that was said by a Michigan player about Ohio State, and that was in their weight room. Like Justin Fields had commented on it. It was like, yeah, that was in our weight room, and we saw that every day when we went in to lift, and the motivation. To me, I am one that I never want to give my opponent any additional reason to be up to potentially beat me in a game. I get it. The game is 8 months away, so maybe they'll forget about this quote, but probably not, considering it's in their weight room. But I'm of one that I just would rather avoid that. But to each their own. But yes, I did see that quote is in the. I don't know if that's the weight room or locker room or whatever the case, but it is posted, and the Ohio State players are seeing it on a daily basis.